Hello, welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Victoria. I'm a mum of 5 in the UK. On this channel I do home education, low income living and the occasional charity shop haul. Got back off holiday and I just thought I'd explain, especially in today's current financial climate, how as a family of 7 we now spend less on our holidays than we did as a family of 2, as a family of 3, family of 4, 5. First off, I'll just say we home educate. Our kids don't go to school, so we can go on holiday when the prices are cheaper, which obviously helps an enormous amount. But everything else we do to cut down on holiday costs can be done whether your kids go to school or not. And the reason we made this change was, one, obviously when me and my husband first got married, everything was a lot cheaper than it is now. 2, as our family's grown, we've had to adjust our spending. 3, me and my husband have become older, so we've become a bit wiser with money. And 4, my husband used to work and he's not very well at the minute, so we're on benefits at the moment. So all that means we've had to adjust our spending. And before I get into how we've adjusted our spending, our children are still as excited about holiday as they was when we used to spend more money. I don't think they've even noticed we spend less money. It's still a fabulous holiday, so we maybe should have just been spending less from the beginning, because like I say, spending less has not hampered our enjoyment at all. So the first one is, we used to eat out every single meal, breakfast, dinner, tea, maybe a few snacky stuff in where we were staying, but for the most part we used to eat out. Now what we do is we have a Tesco delivery shop of all the essentials delivered to the holiday place on the first day when we get there, and we'll have a few takeaways, a few meals out, but in general, a few bags of chips, stuff like that. But for the most part we will have breakfast at home, dinner at home, tea, whatever. But also it helps break up the day, which also makes us spend less, because if we have breakfast at home and we go out, we've then got to come home to have dinner, chill out for a bit, then we go out again later. So it also breaks the day up a bit, so we're not spending as much. The second one is, and also if we go to somewhere like Hardy's Animal Farm or somewhere like that, we can take a picnic. So I pay the big admission fee to get into a place, but then we're eating a picnic, which the kids enjoy just as much, but it saves me from buying expensive stuff from cafes and things like that. The second one is, when we go into arcades, we used to just spend, and then we'd be like, shit, how much should we spend in there? Whereas now I have a set amount before I go into an arcade. Each kid will have £5 or each kid will have £10, but once it's gone, you can spend on whatever you want, but once it's gone, and that's when we leave the arcade. I've saved hundreds and hundreds of pounds doing that. And if anything, the kids prefer it, because they're not mindlessly putting pounds into a machine. They've got to think about, what do I want to go on? Things like that. I mean, sometimes if they're in a 2p machine and the thing they want is right on the edge and they've run out of money, I will give them a bit more. And the third one is the kids having their own holiday money. They save up all year, or they do jobs just beforehand to earn a bit extra, but my mum normally gives them a tenner before we go on holiday, and I'll give them a tenner before we go on holiday. And £20 a lot when you're 7. £20 a lot when you're 7. And you can see them going around the shop. I mean, they're on their holidays, so I probably would buy them what they wanted anyway. But because they've got their own spending money, what's happened is they don't really ask me, which has saved me a lot of money. But you can see them going around the shop, thinking about how much they've got, thinking about, shall I buy this now or shall I wait till later on the holiday and come back? Oh, I wonder if I could get this cheaper at the swag shop down the street. So it's also teaching about money, but yeah, that's helped us save a lot of money, that they've got their own money and it's their responsibility, and they can buy whatever they want, but again, once it's gone, it's gone. And the next one is, this one depends on the weather, but if it's nice weather, there's a lot of things you can do for free. We go to Skegness. There's two kids play parks, the beach, There's a splash pad little pool thing called Dingley Dell. And then there's a nice walk you can do around the castle ruins. So if it's nice weather, make the most of it, source out them things that are free. And, you know, kids love going on the beach, kids love going to park, kids love going to splash pads. I've done a day out in Skegness when it's nice weather on 20 quid, because we've gone, I've took a picnic, we've done the beach, we've done the park, we've done Dingley Dell, and I bought them all a massive ice cream, and they've been really happy with that. And like I say, they haven't noticed that we're not, you know, hemorrhaging money like we used to. They still enjoy it. One year, sometimes we've got a bit more money and we can spend a bit more. But if you're really, really skint, but you need a holiday, which we did a couple of years ago, we was monumentally skint, and I booked a holiday and I shouldn't have done. And I had £20 to spend each day. I explained to the kids before we went that I says, you know, I've not got a lot of money and we'll have £20 to spend each day. And you know what? We did it. We went to the beach every morning. Well, we had breakfast, went to the beach every morning, walked the dog, come back to the trailer, chilled out, books, PlayStation, films, whatever, playing, and then we'd go back out. I'd spend that 20 quid on ice cream or in the arcade. We'd go back to the beach or the park, and we'd come back. And it sounds not a lot, but you know what? That was one of the most relaxing, best holidays we've ever had. And it you know, it worked out because it was nice weather. It might not have worked out that way if it had been bad weather all week. But it just shows you that if you're absolutely on the bones of your arse, as long as you explain to your kids, and this, do you know what? They still wanted to go, even when I said we can go on holiday, we won't have a lot of money. They still wanted to go, and they still had a brilliant time. And the other thing is, if you've not got a lot of money, pick one big event, one or two big events of the holiday, and you say this is your big ticket item, and there's something for them to look forward to, like a trip to the zoo or the animal farm or whatever. And then you go slow the rest of the holiday, but they're the two big ticket items. And yeah, it does work, I promise you. There were people going, oh my God, why have children if you can't hemorrhage money on holiday? Do you know what, though? It doesn't matter how much money you spend, it's the time you spend together. And if you don't understand that yet, I feel sorry for you. So there are my tips. That's what we've been doing so far. And it has been working out. And like I say, even if when my husband gets better and he goes back to work and we're on more money again, fingers crossed that'll happen. But I don't think we'll go back to hemorrhaging money on holiday. We run into an old lady once on holiday who'd moved to the seaside to retire, but she said she loved it when her kids were little. She said they had hardly any money. They had 5 kids, same as us. She said, and they often used to think, oh, you know, if we had more money. But now they're all adults. They all say, oh, do you remember, Mum, when we used to go to the beach and then we'd come home and buy a massive bag of chips and go back to the holiday place and split it with some light slices of bread. Now she remembers that as having no money. They remember it as the best time because they was together. Take board games on holiday. Take cards on holiday. Have game nights, game afternoons. Spend time together. See you later, my love.